Hi everyone. So welcome to the Renovation and Outdoor Living Show. Today we're live from the Domain in central Auckland, and it was nice and quiet a minute ago. Now it's got really windy, so if my mic gets really windy, I'm going to have to turn around. But if I turn around, then my hair will blow out of place. So anyway, let's let the hair blow out of place. Really good to see you. The reason why I've come outside, well, I'd like to pretend that it's because it's the beginning of summer because it's December, but the reality is I was just at a meeting which finished 5 minutes ago. So I zipped out of there, jumped outside because it's busy. It's a busy time of year, isn't it? I mean, I know Christmas is a couple of weeks away or whatever, 2 or 3 weeks away. But I've noticed everyone is really busy, particularly those of us involved in the world of property, be it real estate. Of course, we all know how crazy that's going, which is one of the reasons why I've been jumping around a bit this morning. But also in the renovation and the landscaping game. This is people desperately trying to get projects finished. Also, people desperately trying to get their houses up to spec in order maybe to put on the market, or they've bought somewhere and they're wanting to get projects done. But we are all busy, and it's too early to start thinking about Christmas. Oh, it is beginning to feel a lot like, no, it isn't. Anyway, it's good to see you, and it's good to know everyone's getting their projects done before the long break. Now, last week was all about sculleries and butlers' pantries. Moreover, what you need to consider when you're planning one of these, and how the lifestyles have now changed that people actually want these rooms back, whereas we used to open up as much space as we could. Now, actually, we want to enclose these spaces off because we don't like clutter in the kitchen. So let's hide it in another little room or cupboard or something like that. And also, we want a room where we can actually prep food, make your jam, whatever, have a second washing up station, a second fridge, whatever it is. Hence sculleries and pantries, butlers' pantries are becoming really big in home renovations now. And Kristen Reed, who's the head designer for Mastercraft Kitchens, walked us through the whys, the hows, showed us a range of options to suit our various lifestyles and the homes which we're in, where we can hide our clutter and our appliances and also give us that extra space. Well, today came about because 2 weeks ago we were talking all about toilets. And this prompted today's discussion, which is on plumbing. It's a pretty big part of the toilets, although with the people we're going to talk to today, toilets are probably only a very, very small part of what they do. We're going to be talking to HydroFlow, who basically supply whatever you need, and we're going to find out what you need, where you can get them, how to use them. Now, Hayden Mace is the technical lead and sales manager for the Auckland and Northern region for HydroFlow distributors. HydroFlow, Hayden, good to see you. Now, tell me about HydroFlow. Is this how big a company is this? And you sell direct to renovation and building companies?
Yeah, hi, Rawdon. Yeah, but we go through a merchant channel. So we're a distributor. We import and distribute plumbing products. We go through a merchant channel, so it'll be through your placemakers, Mitre 10, Bunnings, then your plumbing merchants. So Reese, Plumbing World, Chester's, Myco's, that's where you get our products from.
Cool.
We've been around for, more than sort of 30 years, and we've gone really, really well in supplying everything you need, basically behind the wall. So we don't do a lot of front of wall product. We do a lot of behind the wall product in a house or a commercial application.
So you are the switches and the valves and the clever little bits and pieces sort of people. And and it's not just about homes either. I mean, of course, we're talking about the renovation market here, but you cover a whole swathe of different markets, don't you?
We do, absolutely. So right through commercial, we do residential, we do commercial. We're involved in the hospitals. There's in the islands, we go up into the islands, and a lot of our products are up there and helping their water reticulation systems. Very important in places like Samoa and Fiji, where we're delivering water to villages, safe, clean water.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it? So what's your job actually entail? So you're about telling people about the new products and innovations, but do you also have to spend a lot of time teaching people how to use this stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a plumber drain layer by trade, 22 years in the industry. I did my apprenticeship in Sydney and then came back to New Zealand and carried on over here. So what I do is absolutely take our products and I show people how to use them. The merchants need to understand what the plumber's talking about. So it's a lot of focus on training for them. And then our plumbers need to understand what the best application is. And if something goes wrong, how do they fix it? What should they expect when they're installing it, and how should it operate?
So let's talk a bit about that product application. It's actually a really big part of the process, isn't it? I mean, what sort of things do your customers need to know in a bit more detail?
So one of the products we do is our Watts backflow. So backflow is very, very important in terms of protecting the health or public health. A lot of commercial places will need a backflow device to stop contaminated water coming out of the commercial premises back into the public main and affecting people. So it can make you sick, it can cause, in extreme cases, death. So it's really important that a plumber knows how to install that safely, how to test it, commission it, and to make sure that when they come to repair it, they can repair it quickly and do in such a way that it remains safe for people.
I guess, like everything else, I mean, the plumbing world is going to be as highly regulated as it has ever been, and you talk about this as a really interesting part of it. How good is the industry at recognizing this and being able to adapt to these products, or do you still find that people don't actually get? I mean, are they embracing this?
Absolutely, yeah. You've got an organisation such as the Master Plumbers who work incredibly hard to promote the plumbing industry and to make sure that it's a very health focused industry where plumbers care. A plumber's not just turning up to fix your leaky tap. They care about health, they care about your health, public health and safety, and it's a massive part of what we do, whether they're laying drains or whether they're putting pipes and walls. It's very, very important, and there's a lot of upskilling that goes on in the industry. Very heavy on it.
Let's talk about the design part of this, because like every time we talk to specialists in any area, design is effectively at the heart of everything.
Absolutely. So the product you're looking at here is the Accor hose hydrant. What it's replacing is your standard hose tap. In this particular shot, you can see that it's a marine installation. So it was first developed back in 1999. And the idea was you can't have a hose tap sticking out on a boat, right? It's a health and safety risk. So they wanted to look at something very simple and easy, but aesthetically pleasing that you could install on a boat, on a yacht. And it's now moved into a residential application and been developed for houses.
So you're saying, so instead of the tap on the side of the wall, here we go. Here's your example. That's really good, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's a very, very sleek look. And you lift up that debris cover there, and you can then slot in a connector to turn that outlet into a hose outlet. It's very, very simple to use.
What would the pricing compare to just your average garden tap, something like that? I mean, I assume this comes with a bit of a premium attached.
Well, you're looking at it's 316 stainless steel, so it's made for a marine environment, and I've carried that through to the housing so that it will last. So you're making an investment in something that looks good, it's aesthetically pleasing, and it's very hard wearing. So in terms of what it gets sold for in the market, we don't set pricing as a distributor. That's entirely up to the merchant.
Yeah, of course.
But yes, you will be looking at it being a lot more than a standard hose tap. That's undoubtedly. But it's going to do a lot more for you as well.
So yeah, and so apart from just the aesthetic on the side of a house, what else? What are the other benefits of something like this?
Right. So one of the other things that happens, say a normal hose tap has a washer in it, and that washer will wear out over time very easily. People turn the tap off quite hard. This device here doesn't have a washer in it, so I can show you just a little bit of the inside. If we screw off the back of it here, get that off. There's no washer in there. What there is this here. Got an O-ring on it, which you can see here. Now, if we slot our handpiece into it, see how it pops out? Like that.
Oh, that's brilliant.
The flow. So the water flows past that point, and that little O-ring there is what seals. So you can never turn that off hard, because as soon as you take it out, there's a spring in the back here which forces that back into place.
Yeah.
So it's going to last a lot longer than a standard washer would. So the maintenance is very low. The other thing about it is that in the colder climes, so if you're going down south or central plateau, if you've got problems with freezing, a normal hose tap is external to the building envelope. One of these is actually situated, all the water is back inside the building envelope and it can't freeze. So it's a great thing for a cold climate to prevent freezing of pipes.
And that would take it far beyond just residential application. And you mentioned how you do commercial, and I would have thought. So let me think. Freezing cold, you need really decent water supply at the drop of a hat. So I'm thinking about farms, your rural environment. This must be gold for them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great place to put. So the ground hydrant you've got in shop there is a wonderful thing to have on a farm. So as would the universal hydrant be, we've recently installed one down on a horse farm because it's very, very safe. So obviously anything that sticks out, the animals can hit and break or injure themselves. This sort of hydrant, it's not going to happen because there's nothing sticking out. It's flush, it can either be in the ground and covered, or it can be somewhere external where they can't hurt themselves.
And you talk about things getting broken. Unfortunately, we live in a world where a lot of people love to deliberately break stuff. This would confound the little the little fudge size. They want to snap your tap off.
Absolutely, that's it. So when you look at that, they're going to come along to this and they're going to go, I don't know what to do with that. So you'd see.
They won't even know what it is.
No, that's it. It's what a plumber would call a sexy piece of kit. We love it. It's excellent. So talking about that, in a commercial building, you quite often get external hose taps which have a little key that slots in the top of them, so that they're vandal proof. What happens if that key gets lost? So something like this doesn't need that key. As long as you've got your hose connector, away you go.
It's funny, I always thought that those little keys weren't to stop vandals breaking them, but were just to stop people like me using the tap if I wanted to fill up a water bottle or I was out cycling or something like that. But now you've explained, because I always thought, oh, that's a bit mean. I mean, I only want to fill up a water bottle. You're an outdoors guy. I noticed in your bio, you do a lot of outdoors, sort of big sort of ultra marathons. So you'll understand why I thought, hold on, they're just being a bit mean. They don't want to share their water, but now I understand. It's actually to stop the vandals. Yeah, okay, absolutely. That makes a bit more sense. Yeah. Tell me about the materials, which I know you mentioned it, but and that these have to be particularly durable if they've got to be marine grade. Yes. So does that make them stronger as well?
Well, yeah. Stainless steel, as a rule, is stronger than brass.
Yeah.
And so your longevity is going to be a lot longer than a brass hose tap. So yeah, it's an investment that you'll make in a house that's going to last for a long, long time. The other hose connectors you've got here are acetyl resin, which means you can run over them with a car, and even these aren't going to break. They have long life Viton O-rings in them. Again, it's all designed around, if you're going to pay the money for this, it's going to last you a long, long time.
Yeah, because I was going to ask about the accessory side of things. Of course, you do have to buy the specialized adapter. Will that then plug into a standard hose?
Yeah, yep. So on the outlet side of it, you can put a normal hose onto it, and that will just screw on. There's no trouble with that. This one you can see with the vacuum breaker on it. Vacuum breakers are important. Again, they're part of backflow, and you'll find on any council consented building that they'll require a vacuum breaker to be installed on it. But your hose will screw onto here.
Oh, that's fantastic, isn't it? So you would find that most households, rather than how you have, I don't know, the bigger houses, you have three hoses parked around different parts of the garden now, you'll end up with having maybe two or three of these wonderful outlets, and you'll just have your one hose with this posh adapter, which you can then sort of transport between the two or three.
Yeah, exactly. So your hose location is going to be important, and it's something you want to talk about with renovation or even a new build. You really want to go through it, because I feel a lot of designers, a lot of architects will kind of forget that little sort of thing, whereas a plumber will go, where are you going to be washing your car? Where's your garden going to be? And they'll walk you through that and make sure you get these outlets in the right spot.
Yeah, rather than saying, hey, it's easy to put a tap here because there's some plumbing on the inside because there's a kitchen there, and because that's how they used to do it, I assume. Hey, we just tell us about that hose we just saw? Is that something else which you guys do?
Yes, yeah. So it's part of the Accor range, and we do the 25-foot and 50-foot hose to translate that into, from American to New Zealand metric. It's around about 7.5 meters and 15 meters. It's a polyurethane hose, so it's very, very light and very flexible.
Has it been quite tough for you guys in the Auckland market with our water shortage, and something which potentially may happen more and more as time goes on? Or do you find that these more high spec, well designed products are potentially going to help us with our water retention or our water usage to keep it down?
Yeah, correct, Gordon. There's a lot of products on the market that can absolutely help you with water and meeting those restrictions and conserving it. We do a wide range of different products across our product line that have both a rural and residential application, and they can help you conserve water and make sure that you're using it correctly.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's hit everyone. I mean, my truck at the moment's pretty dirty, so I can't wait to give it a bit of a shine up. But we've all got to be wary that water's not a resource we can just believe it's going to always be there. It's a changing environment.
Of course. Oh, completely. I saw a queue at a garage the other day, and I thought it was like the Depression. People were queuing for the last petrol, but actually, no, they were queuing for the car wash behind, because that was one of these, which had its own tank. There was a queue down the street, because it's exactly what you said. Summer's arrived, and we're all looking at our cars going, they are bloody filthy. This is for people in Auckland. Anywhere else, you're probably fine. You've probably got more water to chuck around than you want. You know how we talked about placement being something of huge consideration when you're coming to when you're planning your reno or your rebuild or your landscaping project. How easy are these to actually install? Because a lot of the time, the idea of tapping off a bit of piping from a source and running it up the side of the building to a tap is pretty easy. But these things, they're integrated into the building.
They are. So at the moment, the core range that we've got, so that one I was showing before, this one here, we would install, say, under a house in a crawl space, something like that. So, and you'd be looking at, say, through a retaining wall, the ground hydrant that you showed earlier, which is the tall one. This one here, you can install in the ground in the garden. So that one would be a little bit more like your external hose tap kind of deal. And we've also been working with Accor over in Seattle on a New Zealand version that will meet our waterproofing guidelines in housing. A little bit different to the States. We have E2AS1, which governs the way in which we do pipe penetrations through a building envelope. And as such, we've had to work with them to design something that could be installed in the New Zealand environment. So it won't make much sense to everyone at the moment, but if you go to our website, you'll be able to see what we've got in stock, and this model will be coming out, which will allow easy installation in a building.
Cool. So that's www.hydroflow.co.nz. We've got it on the screen just there. Do these things carry a good warranty?
Absolutely. So 10-year warranty on the stainless parts,
right?
5-year warranty on everything else. And in all likelihood, given how they're used and how easy they are to use, there's very little wear and tear on them. So you're going to get a lot of use out of them. And there's always going to be spare parts available as well.
And it's never going to drip, is it?
No. So one of the things about it, the way it's installed with the cover plates on them, it's actually a wedge. So you'll be able to see there's a little bit of a wedge.
That's
so
cool.
They come with a 5-degree tilt on them, and that means any water in it drains out straight away. And in terms of positive close off, because of the spring and the water pressure, it just shuts closed. So you don't need to worry about those little annoying drips.
That is really clever, isn't it? And I look. The other thing is, and I know that if a refresh consultant or a contractor's watching this, they'll probably know where to get this. But if someone like me wants to go and get one of these, you mentioned a couple of the main high street stores. So these are relatively commonplace now.
You'd have to go and request it at the moment. So at the moment, it's not stocked on the shelves as such. We're obviously looking at that and encouraging people to stock it in their stores. At the moment, if you went to a normal retailer or even contacted us, we can funnel you through the correct retailer, that a merchant near you, basically. We'll make it easy.
Hayden, really good to chat. Appreciate your time this Friday. Fantastic innovation. I absolutely love it. And I imagine you'll get great pickup, because we won't see outdoor taps. That's where this will head. Guaranteed. One day. You just won't see outdoor taps. So thanks so much for that, mate. Appreciate that, and have a great weekend.
You too, Rawdon. Thank you.
No worries. Really good to see Hayden there. Great innovation. Now, very quickly, we talked about the toilets 2 weeks ago. To celebrate World Toilet Day, which was November the 19th, we were giving away a Heron Hygiene rimless toilet suite. This thing worth $1,000. The winner is, congratulations to Lisa McTavish. You've just won yourself a mega rimless toilet. I know it's a weird sort of prize. And at Christmas this day, you'll say, everyone, stop, I've just won the most incredible prize. It's a toilet, but it's a rimless one, which is hygienic and easy to clean, etc. So well done, Lisa. We'll organise how to send that out if you keep in touch with the team. I want to finish today by going through your 10 top DIY solutions. These are priceless. You want a bit of entertainment for a Friday? Check this out. At number 10 in the top DIY, so these are all genius, by the way. Yeah, lock the gate. Why not? It's such a clever idea. There you go. So I'm using the old car seatbelt lock to lock your gate. Just weld or screw it on you there. Number 9. This is next level engineering. How to use one fan to keep 2 youngsters cool. Watch out, NASA. And if you've lost your trousers, you know where they are, Dad. Number 8. This is the foolproof car lock. Also, well, actually, it looks pretty much like the sort of car lock we used to see in the 80s, which just wouldn't let your steering wheel move. So I get that. Number 7. This is looks like one of those I'll never get around to it kind of jobs. It's never been done, but hey, it works. Good on you if you like that sort of light installation. And number 6 of the top 10 DIY solutions today, this Friday. I wonder how many times he may have escaped through this before they decided to tie a spoon to his back. Oh, that's epic. And number 5, top 5 of the DIY solutions. Again, it's genius. Why bother going out to buy a spirit level when you just put a bottle of water on top? And that looks pretty level to me. He should be happy with that. Number 4, well, if you like to ride in bare feet, bit of carpet. It'll make it a comfier ride. Number 3 of the top 10 DIY solutions. The homemade leaf blower. Absolutely. Well, I don't actually think that's that genius. I think that's ridiculous, personally. But anyway, good on him. He didn't want to have to buy a leaf blower. Number 2, the classy way to hold your coffee in the car. Yeah, a bit of gaffer tape and the tape reel. And the number 1 top 10 DIY solution, if you want to cook a pizza and all you've got is an iron and a hairdryer, that's how you do it. If you haven't got a microwave, that's all you need. Reminds me of those horror stories about hotels you stay in, and they tell you who used the kettle to do what with in hotels. What is it that they use it to boil up their underwear? So if you're staying in a hotel this weekend, enjoy your morning cup of tea. That's your top 10 DIY solutions. Good to see you this Friday, live here from the Auckland Domain. A bit windy. I hope you could hear me. Lovely to have a chat. We'll catch up with you again next Friday. Until then, have a safe weekend and a wonderful week as summer starts for us all. Bye-bye.